Checking the stream. Stream is good. Checking assets. Alright, everybody's live. Alright. So, last we left off, the tournament had gone well. Some of it was won, some of it was fought well and brought near to the end, and the highest tier of all of the tournament in each respect. Some losses were had, some victories were had, and some money was earned through NPCs that the various of which the party has following them around, and spending a little bit of that money, taking some downtime for the rest of the day. Everyone went to bed and was awoken by the captain running up the stairs and kicking both doors in of the inn rooms and alerting everyone to the fact that the city is under attack. Which the party proceeded to cut a hole in the wall of the inn. Innkeeper's not going to be happy about that eventually, probably, if he makes it out. And they ran down to the dry dock, pushed the ship into the water, Jug injuring himself, probably, maybe, kind of, trying to do so, and caused himself to pass out. But that was sorted, and then Reggie ran under deck after taking a mutagen, and it had some effects. But the ship is now floating in the water, and we pick up with Lex climbing up the side of the boat. Revian was preparing a wind wall of some sort. Manus had turned the jet engines on already successfully, and Jack was already on deck of the ship after Lupa picked him up and shot him out of the water onto the deck of the boat. Jack, you had, after your Discord failed, I had Jack essentially just push the front of the boat and like remove the splints holding the boat in place in the dry dock so it would like slide away and like help push the boat down into the water. And then Lupa grabbed you and took you onto the deck of the ship. And that is where we pick up.
Lex used elemental mastery to push wind through the sails, so I was using my wind wall to try and put a wedge in front of the ship so that it would pass through either projectiles or the ships in blockade after it reached the water.
Okay, so you're preparing. You said that it's a wind wall. You said.
Yeah, I was gonna use the wind wall and kind of turn it into a wedge in front of the ship.
Yeah. Okay. What else? What's everybody else doing? So there is a blockade around the port. You can't necessarily see it from here quite yet, but it is going to be a problem. The port kind of has two main sides, considering that the only other direction you can go is across the channel to Idridor, which is not that far away. So your choices are north or south, as well as how you want to essentially do this.
Which way
we need to go
do
north.
we need to go?
We need to come up here, if you're looking at the map. We gotta go
All
north.
right. So I have a question.
What is that question?
If Lex were able to build a ramp out of ice, could I generate enough speed like Manus and Revian, and maybe even Lex too, if he doesn't have to focus on the glacier, like if he can make a ramp and then help us? Could we jump the
That would probably
blockade?
break the keel.
I was gonna say there's
True.
a problem with floating ice and water.
Weight of the ship.
Yeah,
will
yes.
snap
Under.
that
These
ship
ships-
in half.
These ships weigh like 2,000 tons. Ice will not move it, it will move the ice after the ice breaks it. There's a bit of a physics issue there. I saw where you're going with that. It was like, I like this line of thinking, but there's one problem.
We do not have a coup de
Yeah.
burst, if you know what that is.
I could otherwise just shape the water, I suppose.
Maybe like move the ships out of the way so we could just pass through them.
I could essentially flow the water in any way we want it to go, technically speaking.
Okay.
Or, you know, I could just create a water
Watch
vortex
one.
to screw with the enemy ships so we could just get by.
Yeah, whatever,
Something
whatever
with
gets
the
them out of the
ships.
way. Because I'm just waiting for a clear opening so I can kick the jets on so we can get moving.
I could try creating an iceberg to distract them, create an iceberg by them, and disorient and screw with their ships.
Do I have to be by the engines to turn them on, or could I like go on the ship and go around the ship and do other things?
I imagine you had
And then
some
just-
sort of like remote activation through the gauntlet.
Okay, cool. Yeah. All right. Well, I'll think of something else that I can like help with.
If we have time before we hit the blockade, I would have probably put wind in the sails before putting the front wind wall up.
Okay, go ahead and roll that up and see how we did there.
18.
Okay. So the winds the winds come in from behind you and billow the sails and carry the ship forward, and you begin moving north through the harbor and underneath the land bridge and out north towards the blockade that you have yet been able to see due to the fact that it is still dark. They're out there somewhere.
Let me see if I have a cleric spell that I can cast. There's a 9th level spell called Storm of Vengeance, and it specifically mentions wind that can carry away buildings.
Jesus. That's terrifying.
Could I direct that at the blockade to like, not like throw them around and hurt them, but just like move the ships enough to let us get past?
That could work.
Wow,
There he is!
that is quite the spell.
Let's go, Colton!
Here.
Nothing's really happened yet. You haven't missed anything.
Shit, yeah, no, I was on a phone call for a while.
We figured something. We were thinking that like your internet took an absolute fucking dump or something like that, and like you like might have passed out for a minor nap on accident. We weren't really sure, so we were just like, okay, well, there's some travel to be done here, so we'll jump into the blockade thing, and then we'll just do a travel session if we have to. And then
I see I've got a million fucking messages.
yeah,
I'm reading all that.
we were trying
You know,
not to like
who's out
spam
there.
you, but we were trying to like send messages of like, hello, is anyone there?
Yeah, I looked at
Are
my
we there
phone
yet?
and I saw a message from Kyle that was, I saw the like text format for GIF, and I saw the word hello, and I was like, oh, they did that again, didn't they?
Yeah, I didn't flood you this time, but I was like, I sent a couple, and I was like, hello.
I was the only one who didn't message him because I didn't want to bluff him.
All right, good. We're all here. Good. So let me fix OBS for 1 quick second. It'll take about 2 seconds to fix this. Just gotta click a bunch of buttons.
Why? Where the hell did you even...
Wait.
That is my only reaction to that.
I'm excited.
What the hell?
Alright.
One of these didn't unhide. Why did it do that?
Oh. I accidentally sent that one, but I'm not gonna complain because I'm just like...
What the fuck? Okay, well, I'll fix that in a second. I can fix that while you guys are talking. Okay, so Revian is preparing this wind wall wedge thing. Manus is about to fire the engines. Lex is going to prepare some ice to create a sort of iceberg distraction. The ship is pointed north in the harbor of Greenwood, and you guys have begun moving. Revian's already billowed the sails, and he's preparing his other spell. Jack is, I imagine, probably preparing to do something else. I haven't come around to Jack yet. And there's also you, a whom of which has just become conscious 3 or 4 minutes ago.
Yeah, Mr. Sword. I slapped the shit out of your ass. Multiple times.
I want to see if my mic's gonna pick up me opening this bag of chips.
Not Lupa. We have a not Lupa.
Yes. For anyone paying attention who actually watches this for stream's sake, I have changed my name every episode of the campaign.
Not
something
everyone.
funny. Almost every episode of the campaign, I have changed my name.
It was already something funny for a while, and you left it for like 2 or 3 sessions with the same name.
Sometimes I leave it if I like the name enough.
Yeah.
I have noticed.
Oh yeah.
Rather funny.
There's always gelatinous cube, and then there's just something different every single time.
Yep.
He left it at gelatinous cube for a bit.
Yeah, that
Oh, wait,
one's still there.
Who's not Lupa this time then?
That would be me. Gelatinous Cube has been Robert this entire
Oh,
time.
okay.
Yeah.
That explains that. Okay.
Octo Jack,
so
aka Gelatinous Cube.
You say I haven't missed anything, but what's going on? What the fuck?
They're just preparing. Yeah, it's literally the same
prepping to
shit that
break
was
your blockade.
at the end of last episode. We just haven't settled on an exact plan quite yet.
I
What
feel
was
bad
the
I missed the
verdict
recap
on
this
Storm
time.
of Vengeance?
Okay, yes, Storm of Vengeance is what we were talking about. That is correct. Okay, your deity brings the unnatural weather of your choice to pass, rain of blood or acid, clouds of souls, wind that can carry away buildings, or any other weather that you can imagine. Ask and it shall come. So one thing to keep in mind there,
It will
Is-
affect us too.
it could potentially affect your ship as well. And wind that can tear away buildings will definitely break sails and masts and tear rope.
And it's
All right.
unlikely we'll be able to fine tune it for one specific location.
Yeah.
Or stop
It's not
immediately if we need
it's
to.
not an impossibility. It's simply something to use carefully.
All right. Well, it's an option if we can't get anything else, and we're like
Absolutely
at the end
it
of
is.
our rope.
That's more what we use after we get past them as we're going.
Why do
So
you
that
stop
they can't
reading my
follow.
mind, Kyle? that's not okay.
No,
Get out of
I
my
was
head.
I was kind of thinking the same
Wah,
thing, so
wah,
I must have picked up on it too.
Hey, you know me and you think alike. It's not my fault.
I was sitting here thinking, yeah, he could use that as they're sailing away. It'd fuck that fleet in the ass.
Great minds think alike, you fall through with differ.
All right, so what are we doing,
Barrels
guys?
of a GM.
All right. I'm just working on. I'm getting ready to set the engines off when I get the go ahead, and I'm gonna probably cast Storm of Vengeance when we get out of here. If anybody else needs anything else, you know where I'm at.
All right, so what about Jug and Jack? What are you two guys gonna do?
Am I up?
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
up.
I was,
You've been up for
you're
about
up.
five. You've been like up off the deck for about 5 minutes, and you're like, like you're full adrenaline mode right now.
Who's
You
the
got
president?
Epinephrine.
Okay, now that was funny.
I think Jug will get up, probably take a breather, and then see everything's going to shit and be like, all right, I need to go man those sails. And I'm
Remember,
gonna fucking
You have the
one hand
energy
those
of
shits
4
again.
Red Bulls and a monster.
Pretty much,
I
yeah.
will man all the sails.
This is like when you wake up in like fight or flight, and you just like start running. Like that's the mode you're in right now. Like you can't consider anything else except like fucking go 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 go. Whatever it is that you're doing.
Flight instincts have activated.
You're just like in a
Unluckily for
perpetual
you, I
like
can't fly.
adrenaline rush right now.
I can't fly.
Jack, what do you think you're doing?
I'm thinking maybe I probably want to help him out a little bit. Oh wait, no. I wanted to see if I could use one of my advanced moves to help him in this situation.
What are you thinking?
Oracle of Hypnosis.
Oracle of Hypnosis. Let's see. Let me see. Where are you? I know what you're talking about. I've read this before. Oracle of Hypnosis. When you enjoy a full night's sleep without interruption, ask a question about a person, place, or an event. Then roll. Problem with that is it has not been a full night's rest. You guys were awoken at some... You have no idea what time it is even. No one has even, like, been able to figure that out. Because you guys woke up, Jug cut a hole in the wall, and then everybody started running.
Yeah, you were woken up in the middle of a tornado drill and a peaceful night's sleep. So it's
By
not
a
good.
Scottish woman screaming some form of obscenities you couldn't understand.
Get the fuck out of here, you blithering idiot!
Hang on, I'll read it. I'll read it to you. I wrote it down because I did write down actual Scottish fucking like slang shit because aye your ball bags, are you off your heads? Skedaddle you fucking jobby fools. Also diddle daddling was in there. There was one of those as well. But I crammed it all together into Scottish speak. So it would become pretty much incomprehensible.
Okay, so if I can't use that, then would it be possible for me to use my ability to? Because I don't know if that's a thing or not, to sort of just get a good glimpse over to see what's going on the ships that are blockading.
Just a veil over there.
See, there is peer through the veil. So you'd have to sit down and like really concentrate on that, but you could do that.
Alright, I'll try that.
So let me see. I don't remember exactly what all moves you have. Nope, that's Lex. There's yours. Let's see. There's also there's nothing hidden that you have the option of. You have that at all times. Like, of course, you have to spend a focus, which you're at 3 right now because you just. That is the one thing you did get from resting. The little bit that you have, is you are at 3 focus. And then you also have, let's see, not that, that wouldn't do anything here. Let's see, Mind Jack is not, okay, so yeah, I think it is, there's nothing hidden as that, or peer through the veil are one of the 2 that you're looking for here that would be assisting in, like, peering forward and trying to essentially get a lay of what's ahead.
Or what about what's the other one? Discern reality? I don't know.
Discern realities, yeah, that's a move that anybody can do. But essentially, there's nothing hidden. You get one of those for free. So you spend one of your focus points, the ones that you can like, you can use it to pick up objects of a certain weight, or you can touch somebody and like communicate mentally with them for like an hour. You spend one of your points for that. It's the move that's at the very top of the page, expanded consciousness. So like your focus from that move, you can spend 1 and ask what is about to happen for free, like without having to roll.
Okay, you said I have 3 focus points, right?
Yeah, you're at full focus right now. You have 3 focus points, and then there's also peer through the veil, which also works, which works on its own.
Okay, I guess I'll go with peer through the veil then.
Okay. So peer through the veil. Let's see. You perceive phenomena invisible to mortal eyes, visible manifestations of emotions, astral creatures, which prey invisibly on mortals, and signs of great and terrible things yet to come. You have little choice in what you see, but you can interact with these things as well as you can interact with anything else. Okay, so you're going to attempt to peer through the veil. So let's see. I am going to do a thing back here. I can't stay behind the screen because I'm not behind the screen. Well, I guess I am technically. Haha, clever me. Let's see. So good news. Rolled a D100, and you rolled in the 89th percentile. So you stop and close your eyes for a moment, and you feel that detachment from your consciousness, that expanding happen. And you open your eyes on the deck of a ship, and you see the deck of the ship is a confusing mingling of elves and dark elves about the deck of the ship. And you can see a couple of them up on the deck by the helm, kind of doing one of these, like looking out. You can see one of them's got a spyglass and is looking what you would imagine is towards you guys, as well as the cannons being loaded on the side of the ship. And you can see that they've got a doubled wall of ships, one group sailing one direction and one group sailing the other way, in a sort of rotating blockade somewhere ahead of where you guys are. And the vision begins to flicker a bit, and you hear the one with the spyglass go. He turns and he looks at the other and he says something in Elvish to one of the other ones, and the deck begins to scramble and they begin to move quicker. You take it that they probably have spotted you. And then the vision flickers and then shuts down, and you open your eyes back on the deck of your ship again.
Who would be the closest one to me?
If you're up like at the front, probably Jug. And possibly Manus as well.
Yeah, I needed to adjust where I was because I was going to move myself to the front of the ship.
Okay, so I just turn to Manus and I just look extremely wide-eyed and I just tell them they know we're coming.
And I suggest we find a way out of here fast. And he kind of where's Revian right now? He's looking for
Revian's
Revian to see.
up by the helm.
Prepping the wind wall up towards.
Well,
All
Revian's
right.
usually by the helm. I actually don't know where you are right now because you've already done
towards
that.
the front to prep the wind wall.
Alright,
Okay.
so he's up here with us.
So pretty
So I can
much
direct it better.
pretty much almost everybody's up there except for Jug is kind of midway down the deck, helping haul lines. So
Well,
I think
Manus-
most of you are up pretty much up at the front of the ship.
Manus looks for Revian and he's like,
I'm probably about right there.
he looks over and he's like, you give the word and I'll turn on the jet.
Is everybody ready?
Ready?
I got all the lines, both sails. Gah!
Oh my god.
So, are we
Everybody,
doing-
let's not die.
Are we doing
I'll roll
just the
for it,
wind
but I have
wall, or are we gonna put some
I'm-
ice on the front of the ship as well?
Well, I
What's the
rolled a
plan?
natural 20 for my wedge wind wall.
Okay, cool. I think we'll be
So
be
that's
good
like
then.
a 28. Plus the strengthen from the full success and the heavy gust going with it. I just buffed the shit out of that wind wall.
Cool. Do I need
I
to
don't know
roll for
what's gonna
the
get bested.
jet speed or?
No, you already rolled for the engines. Yeah, you turned them on and they're ready to go. It's just a matter of when you
Alright, cool.
activate them. And
I would have said, hang on tight, everybody.
everybody grabs onto
Be
a
about to
line
Pick up speed.
and gets ready.
Because the
Manus,
wind wall's also to keep the resistance away so we move faster.
Yeah. Well, when everybody's ready, Manus, like, he's holding up his, like, gauntleted hand, and he just drops it down, and the engines just kick on and just fire up.
you feel
Hell
the
yeah.
boat almost like you feel the back of the ship dip down, and then it begins to shift forward, and it's not an instantaneous gain of speed due to the weight of the ship, but you do feel this, like, the ship begins to lean and lean and lean, and you feel it begin, and then you feel that shifting not just down but now backwards, and so you feel the ship begin to just start to pick up speed. For a boat, a boat of this size, and also just a boat in general, this is some acceleration. For a boat of this weight, you are picking up
this
speed
is quad
quickly.
racing.
Line racing. Yeah.
I was trying not to.
We were all thinking it.
I was trying not to say it.
There is
Now,
a spell that I want to cast that isn't that big ass storm spell. It's
Yeah.
the 5th spell, Revelation. I want to cast that real fast.
Revelation. All right, let's read it out.
Lex, what are you doing?
I like reading the spells out so we all know what they are. Revelation.
Oh, well,
No, you're good. Your deity answers your prayers with a moment of perfect understanding. Your deity answers your prayer with a moment of perfect understanding. The GM will shed light on the current situation. When acting on the information, you take +1 forward.
alright. Okay, yeah, I want to do that, and I want to ask Phalos what is the best part of the blockade that we can get through to make it through safely.
Kind of like standing there and waiting for the revelation, this prayer to be answered. Rather than like an answer, you almost feel like a tap on your shoulder, and you turn around and you look up at the captain. And that's what you feel you're being pulled towards. And when you look at her, she has this smirk, this big grin that's just growing and growing. Some of the crew members too, they're looking forward, not at you guys, they're looking like out past the ship, like out of this blockade, and they've got a big grin, they've got grins on their faces. Like excited faces.
I take it you have an idea?
You see the first mate up there, like, holding onto the line near you guys, and he says, "Let me tell you guys, this is what we do all day long, every day when we're not doing a job like this. Running blockades from Pontetha. This isn't gonna be shit. Plus, you guys armored the front of the ship. I'm not worried about a thing. Hold on tight. Captain's a brave one. She'll ram them motherfuckers."
We armored the hell out of that front with the metal and with the shells. That is a tough prowl.
Yeah, you vaguely recall somebody mentioning how this ship has been running jobs from for the Kenja for a while. They've been running Pontethan blockades for some time. They've been doing that for a few years, so they're ready for this shit.
We finally got into their wheelhouse.
Yes, now you're in the crew's wheelhouse of things. So the ship
Manus hunkers down.
The ship begins to move forward. The captain begins to shout orders. Everybody's getting everything squared away, and everybody's holding on tight. And she calls out, she says, "If we have to ram them, we'll fucking ram them, and they'll feel the hurt. Hunker down, boys. Chase guns loaded." Which is the guns up at the front of the ship, and you see a few of the crew come running up and load the 4 cannons up at the front. And
I want to cast a sharp winds on that.
you cast sharp winds on the cannons? Okay. Go ahead and roll. Let's see what you got.
19 plus 8.
Some.
A number.
I might do something.
Sir.
Some sharp winds. Lex, are you still preparing a glacier, or is that like a
I'm
contingency?
Still probably preparing a glacier.
Okay, go ahead and roll elemental mastery.
Never mind. Don't worry about it.
What's up?
All right.
Well, it was for Lex. It was a comment from earlier. I had a thought,
Okay.
and
Go
it
for
was
it.
not really important. It was another alternative to getting past the blockade using his elemental mastery. Instead of making an iceberg, make a road of the water right in front of us and just lift us up and over and just almost like
actually, that is a
lifting a
good
part of
idea.
a wave.
Might as well do
Just-
that. Yeah.
Yeah, we could just ride a giant
Make
tidal
just a
wave.
freaking massive water bridge.
We come up over
Okay.
over the side of them right as we're about to hit him, and the captain goes, "Oh!"
Let's say,
Yeah, no,
I was
I
like, we
like
got
that
all this
idea.
preparation to go through a ship.
All right, boys.
You're telling me you
We'll
want
take
to
out
elemental
the
mastery?
mask. It was
Here
a
we
random
go.
thought,
Elemental
I
mastery.
like
Let's see what
it
he's
though.
got.
Let's go for it.
but it kept us on the water without breaking the keel. Oh shit! Well, we're ramming them.
We're ramming them.
We're ramming them.
Well, that was
We're ramming them. We didn't give those revelations for nothing.
Yeah,
Okay, that's a 10.
Manus saw splintered wood in the future.
All right.
That's 10.
So the ship begins to
boys.
really
Why
shift.
the hell did I run a 4? That could have been so good.
Oh,
and
that
I
would have
got
been
a
so
4.
cool.
You hear
These
the
Eldritch dice don't look
you hear the sloshing of the water behind the ship. You hear the wind picking up into the sails. Revian, are you still casting the wedge?
Oh
The
yeah.
water just
Okay, go ahead and
slaps
roll
you in
that
the
up.
face or something.
Oh, I gotta roll it again.
Oh, wait, you already rolled it, didn't you?
Yeah.
For some reason, I was thinking you were rolling for something else, but no, you rolled for that. Okay. No, you rolled for sharp winds, didn't you?
I did, and I gave you that answer too. That was 27.
Okay.
All right, I have a question for you.
What's up?
Would you let me spend a charge to roll again for the speed to add that to our speed?
Kind of like an overcharge sort of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it. Let's see what you got.
All right, cool.
Recharging engine.
Would it possibly break the engine though?
We'll see.
Fuck.
Yep.
5. That is a 14 mixed success.
Okay, so you'll get it to work, but you know you're gonna have to spend a couple of days working on the engines to get them back into the speed.
Such is the way of hot rodding.
Yes. It's a bit risky, but it's gonna work. So
Damaged but not destroyed.
you give it the juice, and you're already moving. So this you do feel. You feel the breeze begin to kind of come in at your faces a bit more.
We're gonna ramp those motherfuckers anyway with our prow being up in the air.
Yeah, and you feel the front of the ship come up. You see a bit of the bow wave coming forward as you guys are shifting through the water. And you hear the captain laughing to herself now. She's just up at the helm, holding the wheel, just and then you begin to see masts hove into view. And they're approaching at a rapid speed. It's like a speed of like you're really seeing him come in the distance now. It's like they're like toothpicks in the distance, and then they start to get closer.
And then there's
And
twigs
closer.
and sticks.
And closer until you can see like almost like a picket line in front of you, just thorns across the water, and you can see the shapes of their ships and their sails. And then you see a few flashes from a couple of the boats in front of you, and you hear a couple of whizzes, and then you hear the distant reverberations as the sound passes you, the sound of cannon fire.
Did the wind wall redirect any of them?
You didn't hear anything hit. So the ship continues forward, picking up speed, picking up speed, picking up speed. And, let's see. Let's see how your timing was. Percentile. Okay, so you got a 90%. The percentile
I like the
dice,
numbers.
the D100 is in your favor tonight.
For her, considering he said how accurate, 90% accuracy is pretty fucking good.
So, you come in, and, like, you get one of those teeth grinding moments of like, oh god, that's really close, that's really close. And you see the ships in the front row passing, and they're kind of doing this, and you get that little gap that opens up. But you would need to be just a little bit later than you are, because this ship in the front is really close, and you're really, really close to it, and they fire another volley regardless of how close you are and how fast you're going, just because they're like, fuck it, shoot, I don't know. It's kind of one of those sort of volleys. Order came through late.
Fucking shoot.
Or he can return to sender.
They just weren't prepared, because you just breeze past the range zone of where they're trying to shoot you. And you come in and you clip the back end of one of the elven ships, and you hear like, as the ship begins to, the enemy ship takes a bit of damage as you're passing it, and the ship turns a little bit from the side. You see where it definitely hit on the armor on the front of the ship, and you begin to soar through that gap, and you hit the other ship that's coming across from the back row, hitting the bow of the ship. Another huge crash as you hit it, and you watch it turn aside, and the ship begins to spin out of control off in another direction as the ship just barrels on and just powers through the water like a fucking crazy, like flying fish. Just
I knew
ridiculous
we were
speed.
gonna need engine or something like this.
You guys are like a sailfish right now. Alright, is there anything else you would like to do as you begin to sail away and you see a few of the ships turn and begin to break off like they're going to try and chase?
Oh, I'm gonna cast Storm of Vengeance on their ass.
Roll it up. Let's see what you got.
Come on. It's cocked.
I feel that.
That's a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. A full success. Okay. Give us a description of what happens behind the ship as you guys power away into the distance.
So I think to avoid like damaging the city, because I don't really want to do that, can I just start a big ass whirlpool to like fuck up all the ships that are causing the blockade?
Oh, yeah.
And I have the perfect vision for it too. So as the ship is like jetting away, Manus walks to the back and starts praying. And in his lantern, it just shows like a giant swirling whirlpool. And then he finishes his prayer, and then his lantern, like the light just extinguishes, and then the whirlpool just starts in the middle of the blockade.
You guys hear this kind of crack through the air. It's not the thunder like it was earlier. This is like remote and isolated. And you look up and there's a small cloud over this spot in the middle of where you just passed through. And you watch the two ships that had turned aside from being hit as they begin to dip and disappear from view. And then you watch some other ships begin to dip and disappear into view, and you watch this massive spot begin to form in the moonlight on the water behind you. You can't see any details of it, but you know that there's a massive... Manus knows there's a massive whirlpool dipping down into the water there. But for you guys, you just see a black spot appear in the middle of the water, probably about 1,000 feet behind you. And all of the ships are just disappearing into it. And you have evaded the blockade. Well done.
And that was my 9th level spell for the encounter.
So the ship continues to sail on, and let's see. Okay, so the ship continues to sail on, and the captain speaks to him. She says, "Somebody get the flags up! There's Empire ships ahead! We need to signal them to let them know we're not the elves. We don't want to get shot down into the depths by them. I'd prefer not to." She looks around the deck of the ship as people start scrambling. She says, "Chop, chop, work too, let's go!" And you do actually see, a couple of you actually see ships further up to the north. You see like sails in the moonlight ahead. You see some lanterns on ships coming your direction. And is there anything you guys want to do as these ships are approaching?
That's a good question.
Manus is gonna go find Kaitora and help her repair any damages to the ship, and probably work on the engines. Get started on making sure they're okay after overclocking them.
You go down there, and she's like inspecting some of the walls, and she's got her like a hammer, and she's just kind of looking around, and she kind of knocks it on the wall a little bit, and she goes, "You did good work. That held up pretty well." The captain, she gets a bit batty when it comes to ramming things with the ship, and it held up against her madness, so I'd say that was a success of our armoring.
Indeed. Do you think you could help me with the engine?
I could try. You go down to the engine, and well, it seems you have like blown out the energy cores, destabilizing them so that they would blow out at heavier power. They're still propelling the ship now, but they're at like half speed.
Your capacitor's burned out, sir.
Indeed.
so you'll probably have to rebuild those over the next several days.
Gotcha.
But as long as you don't have any run-in with elves, as far as you all understand, this is supposed to be the smoothest part of the journey. And kind of a straight shot. So, partly one of the benefits of the war, I guess. There's not all downsides in some respects. It's sad but true. So, as you all continue to sail north, you're now back on the map, on the far left map, and I have moved the ship into its current position. You have. Well, we need to figure out, I guess, the rest of the night before the next day of movement. Is there anything you guys would like to do after?
I want to go check on Reggie.
Well,
I know he just took something.
You go down and you find Reggie, like, laying atop his counter, asleep.
He's just gone.
Yeah, if you try to wake him, he doesn't rouse. He's out. He's very out. Like, you see a broken glass on the floor of some kind. It looks like he drank something and is now, well, drank. For him, he probably splashed it on his eye or on his body or something like that, considering he's a homunculus, but... Is there anything else?
I'm gonna go back to bed. Still morning.
I think Jug suffered a huge extreme energy crash and is still standing on the middle of the deck, but he's asleep, holding the lines.
He's got ropes tied around his arms, holding him up.
Yes. Yeah, he's like, you can see the strain, but it is he's just so tired. He's just like head rocking back and forth, just like he's asleep, but there's some fight in him.
Hatana actually wanders over if anybody sees, and she, like, throws one arm over the shoulder and grabs his leg and picks him up over her shoulders and, like, carries him below deck.
I was about to say,
like a sack over his shoulders.
If there's nothing that can be done for the engine tonight, Manus probably just goes back to bed.
Okay, so everybody laying back down. Jack,
Well,
are
it's
you
still
also...
running at half power.
I didn't know, like, I didn't think there's any point in keeping Manus up, like, late and trying to repair it right now. Don't want him to get exhausted or anything.
Oh no, he said it was still running at half power.
Yeah, it's
So
running.
yeah.
It's running at
power.
half.
We've still got some speed. It's just not full speed. So, and it's still got wind in the sails because it hadn't been long since we left there.
That's true.
That's why I said I'm just gonna go bed.
Yeah, you're right. Let's go bed.
Okay, Jack, are you also going to do sleep and Lex?
Probably me as well, yeah.
Okay. So, picking up the remaining sleep of the night, you all go under deck, lay down, sleep for a few hours, until you awake to the first mate coming around and nudging you all awake. And he just kind of says, "It's midday, wake up." Kind of like wakes you all one by one. Gently. He doesn't shout or beat on pans. He's
No jump scares for the guys that can blow up the ship.
He's gracious enough that you guys pulled off a pretty wild escape there. That he's pretty chill. So the day is anew, and here we are.
Lex, did you want to work on putting the dragon bone powder in your sword? I know you talked about that.
That's probably a good idea, yeah. That is agreed for sure.
Okay, so what are we attempting?
I powdered some of Lex's share of the dragon bone so he could add it to his diamond sword to potentially strengthen it.
Okay.
Kind of like how I did Jug's sword, but since I can't like smith a diamond sword, he can like infuse it with his
Yeah,
elemental powers.
definitely. Okay. So, Lex working on the sword, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So that will certainly have an effect of sorts. We will see what those effects are in days to come as you begin to finish your last 2 steps on the sword. So we are moving at half engine speed, but full Revian speed. So we are at about, I believe, that would put us at about 8 squares of absolute ridiculousness. So whoever would like to move the boat again, it's been quite a while.
All right.
Pull off.
This is 8 squares, more or less, from where we were at. Going north.
Do you guys want me to work on the engine, or have anything that you need like worked on? Myth.
Well, I'd say go ahead and work on the engine. I'm probably thinking about different types of weapons that to try and absorb into my weapon to give it different forms, even if we can't change the magic effect, like we were talking about.
Yeah. All right. Well, in that case, Manus is gonna work on the engines all day.
Okay, so Manus is working on the engines. Let's do a jury rig roll to see if you can get it, start piecing it back together.
That is a 15.
Alrighty, mixed success. Alright, so choose one.
It works, but it needs some juice. I'll spend a charge to
Okay. So
So
you get
puts me
the
at
power
2 for
cores
the day.
repaired, and you get them rebuilt with the help of Phoebe and Kaitora. And Kaitora essentially helps keep. She like essentially goes through as you guys take them apart and catalogs all the pieces out on like a piece of canvas, and like makes the process that much easier because then you can now go back and like, I need. Oh, there it is. It's like it's one of those. She creates a sort of environment like that. Like you know exactly what you need, and you reach to go find it, and you find it almost instantly. So you and Phoebe put together the power cores, and you have to give it a bump of juice to recharge them and get them to wake up. But they are recharged. They're replaced into the engines. And they are ready to go. But that will have
Hell yeah.
taken probably most of the day.
That's cool. That's what I wanted to do today. So that's all I
Okay.
need to do.
So that will. So if you're repairing the engines, I'm gonna take back 1 square movement. It'd be about 7, I think, right? Or what were we at before on just wind power? I actually don't. It's been a long time.
No.
It's been a while.
What's the ship's base movement?
Like 4 squares or 5.
If it was 4 squares, then I think we did 6 with just
Yeah.
So
wind
it'd be
power.
about there then.
If it was
That's what I
5,
was
then it
thinking.
was 7.
But the repairs on the engines are done. Would anyone like to do anything else on this wonderful day at sea?
I think now Jug does his usual lines, moves some stuff, but I think after he's done, probably goes over to Hatano and just asks her, this might be a strange request, but I need you to train me again.
Train you in what?
Our sword fighting. I need to learn our style again.
She kind of like inspects you. She looks at the toolbox. She nods. And she not actually doing anything at the moment. She steps out and she draws her sword.
I get my sword ready.
First, your strength is not your base. Your base is your base. Your footing is your base. Where your feet are is where you stand. and where you stand is where you must be immovable. If you are not immovable, you are movable. And then she like kicks your front foot, and you like immediately fall onto your face on the deck.
Boom. Okay, I think I get the point.
So as you like stand again, she walks around behind you, and she like kicks one thigh just to check. She walks around to the other side and she kicks the other. And she walks in front of you and she nods. She says, "Good. Now draw your sword."
I get the sword, actually pick it up, put it in position.
Fucking Autobot noise. So the sword falls out.
Robots in disguise.
This is an intrusive thought. So the sword folds out, and she stands next to you, and she takes grip of hers, and she shows you, and she says, "It must be soft and forgiving, but firm, or it will fail you." And as you like are holding it, she like reaches over and like smacks your main hand, like to correct it. And you've got like this nice grip. And she says, "Good. Now stand like that for 3 hours."
I think I'm starting to remember why I didn't attend lessons.
Damn, especially with that big ass sword.
And she's already walking her way down the deck as you say this, and she's just like, 3 hours.
Jug is just look at the map. Yep, and that position right there. So he's just gonna be standing still like a statue, just. Fuck. That's Jug's training. He's just gonna stand there.
It's funny.
All right. Is there anything else anyone would like to do on this particular day as Jug is tormented with sword training?
I got a lot of eyes on me.
Hey, I wanted to try to see if I could do the thing again, see if it'll work.
Which one?
The hypnosis.
Oh, Oracle of the Hypnos?
Yeah.
Okay, let me go back to it. Oracle of the Hypnos. Let's see, where did it go? Okay, so ask a question about a person, a place, or an event. Then roll, just roll, no bonus. On a full success, your dreams answer the question in a vivid and clear fashion. Take +1 forward to act on what you've seen. On a mixed success, the vision is guarded and symbolic. On a miss, your vision is hostile and strange. Take -1 forward because of it. Okay. So, this is a flat d20 roll. Keep that in mind. There is no modifier. Still on board?
Yep.
Okay. So roll a d20, and let's see what
Roll it
happens.
up.
The dice go. Looks like they disappeared. What is it? 15.
15, mixed success. So it is symbolic. Okay. It's guarded and symbolic. So ask a question about a person, a place, or an event.
Can the question be about myself?
It can.
Where do my limits lie? In terms of specifically how much I can do, like how much power I have.
You're thrown into a, by contrast to the scene in Doctor Strange where he's cast through the realms. In contrast, you're thrown into a more gentle version of that. You feel this vast expansion. You see your vision darkens and then opens just to the endless stars and nebulas of the outer realms, beyond what is understood. stars and colors in every direction, and there's just a vast expanse of feeling that takes. And then you feel it all kind of shrink down into the shape of a silhouette in front of you. And you feel your feet touch down on a floor in a sort of cold place. What do you do?
I tried to approach the silhouette figure.
So walking forward, and like reaching out, you hit a wall, and this silhouette figure is also reaching out their hand. And it's a reflection. There's not enough light here to reflect you, but you can see that it is you. It is your outline, your shape. You can see enough of it that you can tell that it's you. And as you have that realization and are kind of looking into this mirror, out amongst the vast cosmos, as it slowly closes down around into this silhouette, fluxes around and shifts and moves, seemingly inside and outside at the same time. You open your eyes back to a spray of water on your face and the blue sky and a cool sea breeze. Guarded and symbolic.
Huh.
I love guarded and symbolic. It's very good wording.
I'm really trying to like I don't know, I'm just trying to figure out where I can. So that vision or whatever it was had implications of something that Jack has to try and figure out.
Essentially.
Okay.
It's kind of for Jack to interpret in what way he will. Okay. Anything else on this particular wonderful day? The engines are repaired. Jack has some visions to spend time with.
I'm still standing.
Alright, well, if we move into the next day, go ahead and move the ship. I will say now that the engines are fixed, we are back at 10 spaces. You fucking hounds. You crazy people.
Hey, you said you wanted to pick up the pace in the campaign.
That's why we're not rolling
Mad at
either.
us for delivering.
There's two reasons. Number one, you're in a part of the world where there are Empire and Elven ships sailing constantly, and there are constant naval battles. Fucking no one's sailing out here right now. Everybody's too scared. The towns on these coasts are getting fucked up. It's pretty much Empire ships that are guarded, maybe guarding merchant ships sailing in and out of Tevetsuar. That's about it. Which is that city kind of in the coast of Redomina right there, kind of to the northwest of where you guys currently sit. That city is called Tevetsuar, which is actually another one of the Dark Elf cities. One of the ones that like isn't in a mountain. That's kind of like out in the open. It's just a broad daylight sort of city.
So we're going 10 spaces.
10 spaces. Okay. And we'll skim the day unless anybody has anything specific. Or aside from specifics.
Did you want to pitch your weapon?
Yes, I would like to get with Manus
Mhm.
so that he could make me a quick little, but sturdy and proper blank for a weapon for mine to eat, so I could get a new shape. And it would be in the shape of The Falcata on the right of this picture I'm adding.
Okay.
Third or fourth one from the bottom right-hand corner.
The Falcata. That
Yeah.
is where
Kinda
you
like
actually
Kukri.
have the sword just above that is also in there currently.
Yes,
The
but I
compass.
wanted something smaller
Okay.
to use in corridors and stuff.
I figured that's what you were thinking.
That
All right.
kind of be like an assassin's blade type of thing is what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Yeah, that definitely would work to that purpose. All right, Manus.
Manus would. Yeah.
What you got?
Do I just need to make a flat roll?
Flat roll. Roll. Just trying to figure out what I wanted you to roll.
Roll make a weapon.
We normally do like intelligence, right?
This would take a few days to, if you're taking your time and on the deck of the ship as well.
And we're just gonna make it out of plain steel, right? It
Me-
doesn't need anything crazy.
Yeah, it
Unless
doesn't need
you
to
want.
be anything good. because
Steel
it'll
makes it
be-
easier.
Well, would some dragon bone powder in his sword make it stronger too?
Probably, yeah. It would just take a little bit of your lantern energy is all.
Okay, yeah.
To actually upgrade my weapon.
Yeah, I want to make
Yeah, it
it.
feeds
I want to
into
make
the,
everybody busted.
Okay, so yeah, so let's roll and add. Let's see if you're just using regular steel.
Yeah, because the material it's going to be made out of when it transforms is going to be what my weapon's made out of. It just needs
Yeah,
to be shaped.
so I don't. Yeah, it just
It just
needs
needs
the
blank.
weapon style. Yeah.
Go ahead and roll plus your intelligence, since you're not putting max effort into this in terms of like your strength. You're just trying to get a clean shape out of it, as well as trying to use your dragon bone powder as well as energy.
That is a 23.
Indeed, sir. So it begins to take shape quite well. Probably after the next day of working on it, you'll have a very clean shape that you're proud of to present to Revian. If that is all,
Great.
we will shift into the next day, move some more spaces. Anything else? Going once, going twice?
I think Jug will get his normal day stuff done, train again, probably stand there for a few hours early, get his approval of Matano that he's in the right stance, and then after he's
course.
done training, see that Manus and Revian are busy working on a new sword, so he'll try to find Lex, see if he's working on his diamond sword.
Lex, is that what you're doing?
That is indeed what I am doing.
Yep, he's hard at work. He's really focusing on it now. It's like you see him occasionally reach into a little pouch of off to the side of him. It's kind of a bigger pouch. It's drawstring and it's like open, and he sprinkles it over the blade of the sword. And you watch it as it falls. It like kind of clings to the sword as it drifts through the air, the powder, and then he begins continuing to run his thumb down it over and over, almost like he's sharpening it. But it's making almost a similar noise, but not quite. Not quite what he's doing.
Jug's gonna find him and then just pop a squat out right in front of where he's working on his sword. And, like, hard at work.
Pretty much.
In light of recent events, I've been curious. How do you use your magic? What do you do to conjure and of all the things you do?
I focus. It's
Focus.
probably not the simplest answer you'd expect, but the mind is often stronger than one thinks.
I see. Chug's got like a little piece of paper. He's like, focus, just notes. I'm thinking of trying to harness, see if I can find some way to summon magic of some kind?
You might have to just find it yourself in the end. That's usually how it works.
Oh, any kind of pointers have always been helpful to me. Figured I'd see what everybody else says before I start I'm already standing in one spot for 3 hours a day. I don't want to just sit in another spot trying to figure out something I don't even know what it feels like.
Honestly, I'm not sure. That's not exactly as simple as you'd think of a question.
Well, if any of these days when we're traveling, maybe if you could show me your magic in person, maybe I can learn from it or take notes, see what I can do, because I'm trying not to rely on just my strength anymore. I want to actually, I don't know.
That? Well, yeah, I'm not necessarily sure how to answer your question. That's more of a for you to find out yourself.
Yeah, sounds like I've got a lot more hard work to do.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lex. I'll let you continue working on your sword. I'll take this into account.
Yeah.
And Juggle, let him be, and then probably go back to standing.
He do be standing though.
You do be standing.
All right. So, this day comes to a close. We move into the next day. Go ahead and do 10 spaces. And then anything that anyone would like to do on this particular day. Moving right along.
Manus is working on Rivian's new weapon.
Okay. Anything else? Lex is
Where
working on the
specifically
sword.
are we headed?
This island here.
Okay. I was going in the correct direction.
Yes, you're headed in the right direction. Just past the Serpent's Teeth. So which is this here.
Yep. That's where we'll have to slow down, or we'll probably run aground to some shoals.
Yes, it's a very strange land, that. Even you would know of that. It's an odd place. Definitely want to avoid the Serpent's Teeth. Alright, so if there's nothing specific about today, work is continued and ensues. Revian's sort of sword blank thing is completed. And is handed to you, Revian. So, so your intention is to add this to the repertoire of...
Just shapes.
Just, to
It's
your...
non-magical, it's just a new shape.
Yeah, to your shapes, okay. So that is successful overnight. Okay.
Would this new sword give it a new personality?
I hadn't had a chance to ask yet.
So that's up to if he asks or not.
Gotcha.
He said it took overnight for it to absorb, so I was going to wait till the next day.
Gotcha. I'm so excited.
The next thing we were going to do before this day ends is, Jug, in the middle of you holding that sword steady and kind of drifting around, thinking about this magic thing, thinking about where to find within yourself this capacity that Lex spoke of, this sort of mental self-journey that you are kind of preparing yourself to eventually work on. You see a blade come around and knock yours out of the way, and Hatano stands before you with her sword drawn.
Jug gets into position. He knows what's about to happen.
And she goes, "Strikes are important. but they do not protect you. First, you must live. Protect yourself from the enemy. Your enemies will try to hit you also, but if you can defend, they will not hit you. So sometimes, taking hits directly is better than not. I said that backwards. Sometimes taking hits directly is more stupid than just blocking them. So you will learn to block. And so she holds her sword in a specific sort of way. She kind of shows you how to do it. And she says, like this, for strikes coming in at an angle I shall show you. As you hold the sword out, she strikes slowly and she shows you. And she pulls the sword back and she says, take the position again. And block. And she strikes.
In position.
And there's a cling. And then she shows you the next and the next. And she shows you like 5 different ways. Very, very narrow, very, very simple. But she goes through them over and over and over in order. And then if somebody wants to move us 10 spaces, we'll move into the next day. And the next day, she does the same 5 different ones she showed you, but she does them in completely out of order, and never the same, completely randomized every time she does it. Teaching you this sort of, not just how to hold it and how to block, but also to not expect the expected. How it's never certain exactly how the opponent is going to strike. Okay, so...
This is probably where we would have slowed down a little bit.
So now what? Anything else today? Anything new?
Yeah, after Jug's lesson, probably maybe getting close to sleeping, he'll probably try to find Revian.
Revian, you're probably like ending your day after holding wind in the sails, probably heading to the mess or something like that.
Is this the day after I've already absorbed the sword?
See.
Or is that the next day?
Let's see, yesterday it would have been gone already, and then we moved
Okay.
into the next day. So this is
Okay.
the day after you woke up and it was gone.
Alright. Jug, what's up?
Jug like hops on his shoulders like, and asks him, "All right, I've got a question. When you use your magic, what do you feel? How do you use your powers?"
That is a tough one. Have you ever been so good at something automatically that you could never explain it properly to somebody else when they ask you how you did it?
I could say that about my strength. I don't know why I'm so strong, and yet I can... Learning that taking hits directly is stupid, but it is the thing that I have always done out of instinct.
Yes, well, you were there when we found out who my father was. Mine, I'm pretty sure, is inborn. I probably was blessed by him. It's just automatic for me.
You just feel it?
It's just as easy as breathing most of the time for me. Every now and then I'll hiccup or stumble, but it's nothing major most of the time. But I just feel things power flow out, and I just mold it as I will it. That's the best way I can explain that, I think.
Alright. I think I can get that.
Now you want to see something cool?
Yes.
I'm sitting there holding the new weapon, and I said, "We gotta go find Manus." I'm gonna go find Manus.
Alright, Jug's still on his shoulder.
So, did you want to try and inspect my weapon again?
Are you talking to me?
That'd be funny.
Yes, Manus.
Sure.
You were wanting to know about the sound of the voice. I figure I'll ask a question, and then you can ask a question.
Sounds great. Yeah,
Or
Manus
you can
is
hear
just,
the voice if he changed.
Manus is just he's laying out some schematics to redo the mithril parts of his chest plate and gauntlet with Nargarel. He's gonna like reforge those parts to make them with the dual alloy. And he's like, "Hello, how are you? Is there something you need?"
Well, time to talk to the weapon and see if it's changed. There's been 3 different ones so far. I have just changed the shape of this.
He just kind of stops what he's doing and he just kind of waits to see what happens.
And I'm going to try and communicate with my weapon.
So, as you transform it into this new shape, feel this sort of cold chill crawl up your spine, and there's the uncurling of a voice like silk into your ear that is soft but deadly. Oh, the enemies we could slay. Won't you strike someone down, dear?
Well, I can't say I didn't see that one coming.
About what I expected
That is
to,
amazing.
Yeah. All in due time.
The sharpest
friend.
tool here is you. It's merely how you wield it.
That's what studies and learning are for as well. To know when to use it.
It doesn't respond.
Too good of a comeback.
It doesn't respond.
The sword knows when to pick its battles.
That's funny as hell. So, well,
Yeah, that is-
he definitely has a different voice at this moment in time. He's a bit more hilly. Best way I could put that. Would you like to try and talk to him? Did you want to check and see if the dragon bone dust affected the weapon?
Oh yeah,
Its damage?
I would like to do that. I want to
I don't know how to inspect my weapon to see if it changed it.
like to test that.
Well, good thing Manus has a move exactly for that.
Exactly.
let me see that.
What are your
Give
two
me
questions, sir?
Let me pull up my list. Give me a second. One moment. There. What does this do, and what has been done most recently to this?
Well, you know what was added into this? It's now like a sharpened tool, and it's got this weird sheen of like, you made it out of steel, but it's got this this kind of shifting pattern across the blade, where it looks like steel and where it looks like the silver steel of mithril. And it's sharp, and it's comfortable in the hand, and it's an all-around good weapon. And you sense that this particular one is quite handy, would be quite handy against a dragon, in particular.
Hell yeah.
That shape or the weapon in general?
That particular shape, considering that that particular sword shape was infused with the dragon bone and added in, twisting the nature of the staff a bit. It kind of included something that is specific to that shape with the dragon bone dust.
Very interesting.
An interesting touch.
Yeah, Manus relays all of that. He looks at it and he's like, "You could kill a dragon really nice with this."
Yes.
That was both questions, right?
fine.
Yeah, I think I got both questions. Okay.
Yeah.
There you have your
Oh, he-
falcata.
I'm so excited. I can't wait to see that thing in action.
All right.
So wait. I have one quick clarification. Since
What's that?
that's the sword shaped effect,
Mhm.
does that mean I can still attach the actual magical effects I have on top of that dragon killing sword?
It's particular to that sword shape.
Nice.
I was just checking,
Making sure the other effects could still like activate. Like,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep, it's to the sword shape, and it's specific to dragons that it will be effective. Anything else before we close out this particular day? Going once, going
Kaipora
twice.
and Manus in the same room. It's usually where there's one,
Again?
there's the other on the ship.
By now, yes,
figured
that's
we did.
becoming that is becoming a truth.
Perfect. Jug's gonna hop on the table with the schematics, look at them, and be like, "All right, I have a question. I've asked Krevian and Lex, magic. What do you feel? How do you wield it? What can I do?"
Manus looks over to Kaitora and he says, "You go first. I would like to hear your answer as well."
She looks at you, Jug, and she smiles. She's still carrying all the weight, huh?
I'm asking around, trying to get everybody's opinion.
It depends on what your source is. Some people are born with it. Some people study it. There are those like Lex who attach themselves to the primordial energies around us and draw from them and use them and manipulate them. Manipulate, not in a negative sort of term, but as what it is. Just depends on how you draw on the energies and which energies you do draw from. And she kind of looks at you, Manus. There's one form I didn't mention that is specific to Manus that I will let him explain.
Jug looks at Manus.
Manus just kind of smiles and he looks at Jug and he's like, "Will you take a walk with me?"
Jug will hop on his shoulder.
He just kind of walks him up to the deck, like just somewhere where they can like see off the bow and like off wherever what's the sun doing right now?
It's in like the evening point. It's starting to set. It's like, I'd say it's probably near 7 o'clock in the evening.
He kind of just sets Jug down on the railing of the ship, just somewhere where they can like see the sun like sitting. And he just kind of like takes a deep breath in and just kind of exhales. And he's like, "I learned my magic from, well, I would say from two places, but in a strange way, they're from the same place. The first one is what I've read in books and stories I've been told, the songs I've sung. It's my faith. My faith that there is always someone watching, someone guiding, and someone protecting." And then he kind of, he looks at Jug, and he puts well, yeah, I guess he literally could only put like one finger on Jug's like chest without like covering his entire chest, and then he kind of puts a finger on his heart and he says, "That is the first type of faith." And then he moves up and he kind of points to Jug's head and he says, "My other type of magic power comes from here." And he kind of like taps him on the head and he says, "And my faith in myself. And you must never forget that." You must always
think
be
I
willing
will.
to adapt and overcome. I know you are strong, my friend. I know you will persevere. And he just kind of like looks out to the sun again and just kind of like takes another deep breath in.
Everyone teaching me various methods. I don't know. I'm having a hard time believing in myself lately. and I wasn't so sure about my knowledge ever really. Hell, whatever I drank from Reggie that one time kind of took it down.
This is out of character. I completely forgot that Jug canonically has a lower intelligence.
I lost a little bit of wisdom, so I had okay wisdom before. Now it's just
Yeah, his wisdom
above
went
average.
down permanently by 1 point.
Well, if you ever have questions regarding faith or faith in yourself, you know where to find me, my friend.
He Jug stands up, gives him a little punch on the shoulder. I think I'll do just that.
Manus just nods at him and smiles.
So, while you two are standing here, watching the sunset,
I forgot to mention, Kaitora, could have come with us too. She didn't have to, stay behind after she came with us.
she was listening. She's just keeping her distance. We will, close out the day. Jug gaining a third piece of advice. And we will move into the next day. 10 spaces, good sirs. Wherever you may take them. What's that?
Could I have retroactively checked on Reggie the next day after he woke up?
Still sleeping.
Oh
In this car?
He has not woke
He's
up yet.
still sleeping.
Yep, he's still asleep. He still hasn't woke up. He's
Oh
in the
my
same.
God.
4
He's in
days.
the same spot. Yes. He's not woke up yet.
Well, shit. Would healing help him? Can we have the healer look into why he may not be awake?
Yeah, can I come down there and check on it?
Yeah, make sure he isn't fucking dead. No.
Roll
I didn't
plus,
realize he was-
roll plus wisdom, Menace,
Alright,
as
give
you
me one
approach
sec.
and look at the unmasked homunculus laying on the table. I don't think you've actually seen that's what he is yet. I think it was just.
I would have warned him before he come
it's
in.
Jug and Revian is really the only ones that knew, and Hatano.
Yeah.
And as Manus and Jug are having their talk in their moment, Revian comes up and he's like, Manus?
I have a problem, sir, and nobody else can know about it but you, because it's not my secret to tell, and I shouldn't be telling you. Can you please help me?
Manus just nods and follows him. He doesn't even ask any questions. He just follows him to where he needs
alongside.
to go. Yep.
I make sure, yeah, because Jug already knows. I would have said you're welcome to come, but I'm not sure if Kaitora knows.
She just
What's
looks at
going
you.
on?
She goes, "That he's a homunculus. Everybody knows.
Okay, never mind.
It was only a secret from you guys because he was nervous. He thought you might tell the one he worries about chasing him around."
Well, the only ones that know about it right now are me, Jug, and now Manus. So, he's been asleep since we left the blockade. I don't know what's wrong.
How many days has that been? 4 days?
4 days.
Oh, he's fine.
Oh, he's fine. That's
Uh,
amazing.
What, did he reset himself or something?
Well, I assume he had a bad reaction to one of his mutagens, as he does sometimes. Jug, you had some bad reactions. Don't be surprised. He has bad reactions to them all the time when he takes them. And he will take a potion and sleep for upwards of a week or two, to sleep off the negative effects of a failed one. Yours were only partially failed in some aspects. It looks as though this one was a bad one, so he may be asleep for a while now.
I just realized something for Jug. I can roll repair and repair his wisdom. I can get rid of his reduction. Because I can repair, stat
So
debilitation
standing
and stuff like
over
that.
a unconscious
Yeah,
Reggie sleeping on a table, Manus has a revelation of something that he could do.
Yeah, nobody knew. Not even Manus. No, Jug has his arms crossed, looking Reggie's like, lucky bastard. This. My head went crazy, and he just gets to sleep for 2 weeks.
That is a 18. I will take the. I can only cast this once. I can't cast this again till I commune again, and I'm gonna repair Jug 2 before he messed himself up with all of the mutagens. So he's like,
Well, the only permanent effect was the minus to wisdom. The rest of it was all temporary. Wasn't
okay,
it?
cool. I just, yeah.
Yeah,
if that's the case.
I had blindness and loss of wisdom, so like my +2 went to a +1.
So,
All right.
Jug, you feel this space in your head that you didn't know was a space fill in.
As Manus casts a spell and he sees Jug's eyes kind of like, as he like kind of sees the realization on his face, and he's like, for a better sense of self, my friend. Never let it fail you.
All right.
And then if Reggie's still zonked out, I'll cast it on him tomorrow if we need him.
All right.
I would
So-
cast that on him first thing tomorrow if you can, because we've got like maybe a day left.
Well,
Yeah,
that would
I
be,
think I was-
say, I think you already moved the ship, so that would be a today thing, I believe.
I've
Oh, I
got
thought that
one
I
more
moved the ship
person to
for
talk
today.
to.
It would
That's
be
what I'm saying. So
tomorrow.
you moved it. So we were still doing the night before because you wanted to go see and go and check on Reggie before the end of the day. So I was assuming you moved the ship, and then we were going to shift into the next day, of which when we could just skip into Manus coming down and repairing, or possibly repairing Reggie.
Ah.
So go ahead and roll it if you want, and we'll see if you can wake Reggie up.
Alright, wakey wakey, Reggie.
Wakey wakey
Hold on,
time.
I'm out. Wait, that's a 13. That's a mixed success, right?
Yes, a mixed success.
Cast it once.
Okay. So
And I repair him to before he
his
had the
body.
negative side effect of that mutagen.
His body kind of like jerks, and then you see the eye, which doesn't close. You see the eye move, and then it moves again, and then he sits up and he goes, "Oh, I'm alright. How long has it been? Has it been 2 weeks?
About 5
About
days.
5 days,
Oh,
because I would have went with him.
I'm awake early. Why am I awake early?
He fixed you.
Fix me. You fixed me?
What was
Faith
it you
can do
did with that
wonderful
ability?
things.
I just know you fixed him. I don't know how.
Here, hold on. It's like explained as like I remove. Here, hold on. I choose
You
an
rewound
event.
your time.
Yeah, I
more or
choose an
less.
event from the target's past, and I just remove it from history. So I removed him drinking that potion that fucked him up from history. Like I removed it from his stab. Like it never happened.
He kind of rubs the back of his neck. He's just like, wow, that was, you didn't have to do that. That was very nice.
Of course, my friend.
I like you, Manus.
Man, it's just nods to him and he's like, thank you, Reggie. I enjoy your company as well.
Kind of stands up and he kind of stretches. He goes, all right, I need to go see the barrel of grog very, very quickly. I'm going to drown myself in it. Just kidding. I can't drink anything.
By the way, if you were going around without the mask before we joined the crew, I don't think any of the rest of our group is going to care that you're homunculus. If you don't want to, if you want to be able to go without the mask for a little bit.
I think I'm less worried about you guys now. It's an introductory thing, and it's really hard to see out of anyways. Like, I can only really look, like, he moves the eye to the right and then to the left at an angle, and he's like, that's about all I can see. It's pretty rough. He goes, well, I guess I'll get back to work on something and rest. Thank you again. That was a kind thing. You're one of the good ones, Manus. I like you.
Manus just nods again and smiles. As he goes back and he goes to work at the forge. I think Jug wanted. Was there something that Jug needed work on? Or no, he needed.
I got one more person to visit. Jack, you're up, buddy. You're the last magic user I can think of on this ship.
Are you ready for it, Jack?
It's not magic. It's whatever.
Say Jug doesn't know that at all. He has no idea.
Just a, I think Jug's learning now instead of just like a sense of external powers.
So
he's
Jack,
like
what are you
just
doing
going-
about midway through the afternoon of the day?
I want to say that he's sort of gotten used to do you remember that area that he likes to hang around a lot when he would go to the top of the ship and there would just be that little sail there?
Mm-hmm.
He normally just hangs around there because he tries to, but right now he's just thinking a lot about everything that has led up to where they are right now, and specifically how things could have gone differently.
You hear the shifting of the rope ladder next to you.
Little scuttles. Guess I'm crawling up there. Jack's in this little nest.
Yep. Yeah, he's up like at the quartermast of the ship. It's not the crow's nest, but it's like the halfway point up. You still have a very, very good vantage point from up there. It's pretty high up.
And Jug crawls up there, sees he's pondering, and just asks, "How you holding up, Jack?"
But see, when I hear him and I turn around, and I'm like, oh, it's you. I'm doing all right. Sure, you've noticed I'm not one much for long conversation, so I'll just say things are going decently.
I was going around doing a check with everybody, and well, I'll let you. I don't want to keep you for too long, but I do want to ask. Your psychic abilities. How do you control that? Because even I can tell it's not a form of magic.
Honestly, even I have trouble explaining it sometimes. You just start to get used to it. I mean, I never asked to be born this way. It was just something that my family did not realize at first until... And then he sort of just seems really like off-put, like he doesn't want to talk about it. So he can already tell that there's something wrong. And then he just shrugs off, and then he just looks at him in the eyes and goes, but I'm definitely managing it a lot better now. Not like before when it used to be out of control.
Jug nods his head. I won't bother you with it anymore, but I was just curious. But yeah, I think you do good work. Who knows where we would be if we didn't have you around?
He kind of, when he hears him, he has like a smile that starts to form on his face, and he tells him, "You see how hard I got beat down the other day?" And then he starts to laugh.
Yeah, that was crazy. Ugh. Things have been wild on this journey.
Definitely. But I don't think things are going to get any easier. They might, but from what I've been thinking, you can never be too certain.
Jug's gonna hop up on some ropes, pat him on the shoulder. It might not get easier, but I think we can handle it. Either
Okay.
way.
Right before he climbs down, he just like on an instinct, he's like, oh, and I forgot to mention, I'm asking you to teach me how to use that sword sometime, maybe.
My bunker buster. Yeah, you can come down and watch me train with Natano, and I can try to give you some pointers with how I use it. Even I'm having a hard time with that, but I'm learning every day. Painfully, but I'm learning. You see, he has like
At a price.
welts on his. You see his hands are kind of. He's been training without the gloves. You can see like the smacks on his hand because
Oh yeah.
he knew that Hatano knew the gloves would soften the blows, and she was like, "You've got to learn."
Yep, builds calluses.
But then like, and the last thing he tells him is, but you got to think of this: every one of us has our own reason for being here, and we all just seem to mess together in one group. When you think about it, we're not really. He cuts himself off mid-sentence, and he's like, "We're just trying to survive." Epic foreshadowing, if anybody knows what I'm talking about.
Jug's still holding on the rope for his last quip. It's like, as from someone I heard once said, the ocean is a soup, and I guess that makes us a damn good pile of ingredients. And he just like hops off and slides down the rope, just flying down.
All right. 10 spaces, my good sirs. And I think we should maybe arrive. Indeed. Indeed we do. Arrive.
I timed that really well. My bingo card of information is completed.
Okay. Yeah, that was perfectly timed. That was like couldn't have spaced that out more perfectly. As I now navigate the UI to add in an image.
Can't believe we made it.
Yeah.
Okay,
tricky,
so
We're like,
you arrive, and it's later in the evening. It's kind of like 4 or 5 o'clock. Sun's not low in the sky, but it's, you know, we're in the latter half of the day, and you approach kind of large verdant hills. You see some stony cliffs, and some very pretty buildings on this dock in front of you as the ship begins to shift in towards the small town on the very edge of the Isle of Light, known as Palin. Give me one moment and I will post the image. I forgot I don't actually have it. I didn't have it downloaded. Yes, no. I know that.
I was about to say you were talking this up, and then you're like, I'm looking for the picture.
Hang on, it's coming.
Where's my Isle of Light DM?
Oh, it's just one extra step that I have to take to get it on here. Whoa! Why did it open it? Why has it done that? I don't know. It just cleared everything off. Okay. Well.
Oh fuck!
Here we are.
Wow.
Hit the undo button.
Control Z, hurry.
Control Z. Fuck.
Well, fuck it. Everything's gone. It's fine. It's not like I wasn't gonna take those maps off the screen anyways.
Oh
But,
shit, we're doing a reboot.
It just cleared my workspace for me, so I don't have to do the work. I don't know why it did that, but it did that.
I don't know why I did that.
But I don't know why it did that, but it do. So you arrive, and the captain is kind of looking longingly at the island. Just this sort of very pretty place. And everybody's kind of like, all the sailors are kind of like, when they're not doing something, or when they're not doing something that requires their active attention, they're all like kind of looking at this like mysterious sort of island that not many people are very familiar with. Not really anyone goes here aside from mages that come to learn. And the ship rolls in, floats up to the dock, and it's just one long wooden dock that runs out next to a small stone uprise with one singular crane, a very small crane, and you see a few workers, and the ship is pulled in. And as the ship floats in, you see a tall elven man walk down the dock. Not one you have seen before. But he walks up the dock and waves to you all. He kind of calls out to the ship and says, "Greetings, hello. Are you is this the Infernal Wind?" And the ship's still like being hauled in and stuff. And he's just kind of like looking around, like waving. He's like, "Is this the Infernal Wind, I presume? Yes?"
Yes.
Yes.
Good, yes.
Jesus.
He looks around and he says, "Please, hold the ship in quickly. That would be wonderful. Do your best. Of course." And he kind of stands and waits, half patiently, half impatiently. And, the ship is pulled in. The crew begins, exchanging some supplies and stuff like that with, some other people. The captain's conversing with the dockmaster and stuff. And, the gangplank is placed. And you are able to walk with Phoebe down the gangplank. Terragus, walking at the tail end, kind of looking around, as he usually
Do
does.
we have the crystal?
She has the crystal in her hand with her orb of power around it still. And she walks up, and she looks up, and she goes,
I can't
"Go ahead."
remember. Does it cancel out magic or just teleportation?
It fucks with teleportation.
Do you guys think I should cast Divine Presence while we're taking this up there, just in case we get ambushed, so we have a damage boost? Or do you think I should wait?
I would say better safe than sorry.
How long does it last, and how long does it take to get us from where we're at to where we're needing to take it?
It lasts till I dispel it or I go down. The only reason because Nargus almost killed me. I just have to concentrate on it, I think.
Well, I doubt anything's gonna hit us here, but if you want to do it just in case, it wouldn't hurt.
An island with some of the strongest wizards and witches and sorcerers surround. Unless you want an ocean of fireballs at you, I don't know.
Yeah, you know what?
Do you say any of this out loud?
No, I was just. This was like for the table.
Okay, I was just checking.
It was just something I was considering. Yeah, no, I wasn't saying any of that out loud. So yeah, just no worries then. It was just an idea I had. I didn't know what you guys thought.
Out of character, if somebody wanted to attack this place, they'd get fucking wrecked.
Literally, above the table, I dare someone.
I'd dare a motherfucker.
Wait, you said this place was for like all magic users and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is, what I'm picturing, like if it's like when you're playing Skyrim and some thief tries to come all the way to High Hrothgar.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
no, that's what I'm ready for at this point. Like, I don't know what's coming.
So the thief enters High Hrothgar. Incomprehensible shouting ensues. Okay. So Phoebe walks down the gangplank with you all kind of circling her, with Terragus staying farther behind, Kaitoro walking next to Manus, Hatano kind of standing near to Jug, Lupa kind of in between, like kind of the rear and where Terragus is at. And you all come down the gangplank and Phoebe looks up and she says, "Well, look at you young bastard. So you got yourself all dressed up? Looking nice. Do me a wonderful favor and take this fucking thing away from me. Please." She hands it to him. He goes, "Yes, I am Arch Prism Emran Oketh. Pleased to meet you all. If you would just follow me." And begins to lead you all down the dock. And he shows you to this, it's a little area, it's with some stone cobbles laid out, and there are 4 buildings arrayed here, and like some nice gardens, and it's a nice little, very calm coastal village that, of just a few little buildings. It looks like maybe it's where the workers stay here, or a few of the people that just kind of live down here and are happy to, whatever it is. Very beautiful buildings. And he leads you towards some other individuals standing and waiting. There are 5 individuals standing in a line as he walks over, and he goes, "Okay, so here we have." Before I do that, let me line up my shots here, so you guys can see who all these people fucking are. So there's one, and fucking hell. Let's see. I need my list of people. There's so many. So there's that one. There's one you've already seen. Ah, that one. There's her. There's, see. That one. And just want to make sure all the characters that you guys can see are visible and have descriptions for you. I'm missing one. Where is he? I'll have to find that in a minute. And then that one. So he leads you towards these few individuals, and he starts out and he says, "These are some important individuals that are wanted to meet you all at the end of your journey." And there's the figure standing in like the big helmet and like some of the armor with that's like kind of splinted together in little tiny splints. He's got 2 hammers, one-handed hammers, one on each hip, and he kind of nods to you all with the helmet, and Emran motions towards him. He says, "This is the warden of the prison of Bregodia. This is Warden Otis Kazadug. Yes, he's quite skilled, and he is a very organized man. He's a good man, this one." And he steps over and he says, "Valdonis and Trelor Lorialeth, I'm sure you're familiar with, as I'm sure you've met them once at the very least, at least Valdonis. This is his son Trelor, a very skilled mage and wizard in his own right. And looking at him, since you guys saw him on the ship, he looks, not, I want to say haggard, but there's like lines of concerns about his face since the last time you saw him. But he nods to you all and he gives you kind of a pleasant smile. And then he motions to the next one, who is a woman with dark hair. And he says, "This is Soshe Kaldiok. She is one of our very gifted master wizards. One of the very few that we have at the moment. at the Prismatic Society. And here we have Marion Isset, who... Marion, what are you wearing? He, like, stops himself and he says... And, Marion, as he's introduced, just kind of shakes his head and he says, "Don't ask. Don't worry about it. Just get this out of the way so I can leave." He goes, "Leave? What do you mean, leave? You've been in the service of the Emperor for what? 4 or 5 years now? What do you mean, leave? Why do you look like you're traveling?" And he says, "Because I am. There are things stirring and in motion that require my attention again. And I'm leaving." And he kind of... Emran cuts in again. He's like, "You can't leave. What do you mean, leave? We need you in these circles. You're quite useful." And Marion cuts him off and he says, "I'm leaving, Emran. I have things that I need to do. This quiet with Tenem, this stirring happening all over the continent. Greenwood was attacked a week ago. Do you not see this all happening? Trelaw can. Look at his face. I have things that I need to do. Let me do them. Don't worry about where I go and what I do." And Emran just kind of waves his hand and he goes, Fine. Anyways, these are our heroes who have brought the crystal to us, and they have proven themselves quite worthy, beyond a shadow of a doubt. And for reasons you all know, I would like to get a move on, so yes, pleasantries, hello. He looks at Emran, turns to you all, and he says, let's go. We need to move quickly. And he starts, like, walking away, like, really fast. Do you all follow?
I do.
Yeah.
Yep.
He leads you guys past these like little 4 houses, and through this little cobblestone area towards a row where you see the tree line appear, not far off. It's not super distant. It's just where the grass line starts, and you see the trees begin. But kind of interposed between all of it, you see these lines of trees that are perfectly aligned, and a sandy road that leads up into the hills ahead. And he starts kind of marching up in that direction. He says, "Just up this way, we'll enter the village proper, and we'll get on our way up there. There is a certain individual of which who would like to introduce himself, of which I will not allow him the pleasure of doing so. And, yes, let's move very quickly, please." And he continues to march, walking really quickly. And, hang on, let me fix the ambience here. Just got the ambience of the shore, and then I want these. There we go. Seagulls. But he begins to march up the sandy path, and he's like holding this in his hands. And he's got a fucking... This dude's got a fucking pace on him right now. He's like... You guys are having to like... kind of like quick step it to keep up and like really put it in, because he's moving. And he starts to hit kind of midway of like the straight portion of this path. And you all feel a shift in the air somewhere in front of you. And he kind of slows his pace and he goes, "Oh, please." And then fading in the most disgusting teleport you could possibly imagine, he's simply not there, and then he is. And a man with dark hair and very fine clothing and yellow eyes stands before you all, and he looks you all over. And he's facing you all and facing Emran, and he puts his arms behind his back. And he says, "Oh my. Emran, what is this?" And he goes, "Please, just... everyone, This is High Arbiter Varkanak of the Tower of Abzana. And he is the most skilled in curses and a skilled mage in his own right. We are transporting the crystal up to the city. Please, we need to hurry. It needs to be in Horashal so that we can take it to Bregodia quickly. Please. I do not want to know what happens if this accidentally opens. Notice the cracks on it. And he's like really giving this guy some sour words and like partial looks, and like there's laced tones underneath what he's saying. And this character begins to look at all of you. And he looks back at Emma and he says, "So this is the group you had assembled? Or that they did? I can't say... I can't see why." I can read their incompetence just by looking at them. This one, and he points at Lex, is so uncertain that he believes he's certain. And he points at Jack and he says, "This one is scared of anything below the surface of his abilities. This one," and he points at Manus and he says, "is far more lost than he could ever imagine." And he points at Revian and he says, "This one wouldn't know purpose if it swept him up, swirled him around, and dispatched him right where he was meant to be. And this one," and he looks at Jug and he goes, "Oh, simply just too small. Oh, the world's problems would just crush you, you poor thing. What a feckless, witless pack of imbeciles you've assembled before me, Emran. What? Now, Grand Prism, this crystal you carry, I would like to see it, if you would." And like, you can almost hear him grinding his teeth, and he's, "Of course, here, look at the crystal. Don't do anything to it. Please."
I'm prepping a spell.
I was about to say, I'm gonna...
He holds it.
See
ready to...
pain in Jug's hand clenching that toolbox.
He looks at
Manus'
it.
lantern is just going insane right now.
I've got the Falcata in one hand and a spell in the other. He's pissing me off.
He looks at this crystal and he looks over at Jug, who like he can like hear audibly gripping his sword, and he goes, "Oh, sorry if I angered you." "Well, get over it." "Why, I could do so much more with this Emran in the tower. Why would you want to take this to what is such a wonderful place known as Horashal? Oh, the lovely city. It could open at any moment, you never know. It would be disastrous, wouldn't it?" Emran's just like, "We need to take it to Bregodia. The warden is ready. He is just behind us. We're going to take it into the city, and we're going to lock him away for a long, long, long time. Now get out of the way, please, and give me the crystal." And he just looks at it. He goes, "Pity." And he hands it to him, and just kind of folds his arms in front of him. He says, "Because it's already opening." And I didn't have to do anything. Oh, this is going to be wonderful. Prepare, everyone, prepare. It's going to be quite interesting. The Witch King is coming. Oh, no. Whatever shall we do? I think I'll move over here and I'll watch. This should be entertaining.
Slam an arrow lance into his ass.
I was about to say, can Manus just punch this guy?
Emran raises his hand before you all do this, and he says, "Don't. We can't touch this man. He is immune on levels you couldn't even imagine. If you touch him, wars will break out. More than there already are. Just... Varkanak, what did you do?" And he's like, "I didn't do anything." I just simply inspected it. It's amazing. The handling of it's been so poor. And he begins to turn and walk away, and he's just like, good luck handling that issue. I'll watch from over here. Good luck.
Manus, can Manus let me see that with the containment orb with crystal in it?
Yes, go ahead.
Let me see what questions I need. What's wrong with this, and how might I fix it?
Okay.
And
What's wrong with this? How might you fix it? Let me find the move here. Um,
And what has been done most recently with this or to this? Because I want to make for damn sure he didn't fuck with it.
you look at it and there's nothing, like, it's just the same crack as you see before, but now it's like, you see it lengthening very slowly. Like watching ice melt, you see a crack beginning to, it's beginning to crawl away from where it was and squiggle and move down the side of the crystal. And Emran just kind of looks at you and he's just like, this is going to open. We need to set it somewhere and prepare for a fight. Well, you do, I need to get these people out of the way.
If we put it in your tower, can he get out without the door being opened?
He's like looking at you all and he's like, if you have a plan, I do suggest you do it. I think he's talking about your tower, by the way, Manus.
Yes.
Yeah,
The indestructible adamantium tower. If we throw the tower up and put it in there and then explode the shit out of the inside of it, the tower won't get destroyed. But it would also contain him as long as you don't open the door.
Yeah, we could do that. I was gonna ask, I have the spell Trap Soul. Would I be able to do that to him? Or, no, yeah, because you had to trap his whole body in the thing. It wouldn't work on him. Yeah.
Yeah, you've since found out that it's a physical form that resides inside somewhere, somehow.
Alright, Manus just, he looks up and he pulls out, the tiny figure that, like, he pulls out his tower and he's like, we need to get somewhere to contain this now. Far away from the city. As far as we can get.
If that thing's gonna blow up when it comes open, we want that contained.
He gestures out like kind of just past the village and says, someone in the sands over there. It will open any moment now. Seconds. You have seconds. And he hands it out towards you all and he says, move quickly.
Manus flies with his jetpack as far as he can in the sand, and activates his tower so it can be it's open. Like, can he throw the crystal in there at the same time, or would someone else have to put it in there?
So are you throwing the tower out first and then you're like running with the crystal, or?
Yeah, I wanted to set up the tower and then as soon as it's set up, go in there and put the crystal down and then get out, and then I'm gonna prep Divine Presence.
Okay. So you run over and you throw down the tower and you run inside and you slam the door, and then there's like a flash of light that bleeds out of the windows of the tower as you do so. And then it's just quiet. And silence takes to the air.
Can I roll for Divine Presence?
Go ahead and roll for Divine Presence.
I was actually wondering if I can roll to put like big ass walls of stone around the tower to help keep it in.
All the windows.
Yeah.
That's a 22. The spell goes off. We're good.
Okay.
So anything that shows up that isn't friendly and doesn't get permission takes a whole extra d10 damage.
I'm gonna throw a pearl of power through a bead of power through a window before they can activate it before.
A bead of blasting, you mean?
Throws up, yeah, bead of blasting.
Beads of blasting.
I'm gonna throw one of them in there.
As Manus casts Divine Presence, he just looks to the tower and he just he can't see what's in there, but he knows what's in there. He just says, "You are not welcome here." As his eyes light up with that dull gray. magical glow.
It's silent for a moment as you all wait for this uncertain thing that's going to happen. Unsure. And it's just unnervingly quiet as you hear a thump on the door. Then you hear another thump.
Manus is backed far, far away from the door. Like
Okay.
he's set up a fortified position. Like he's got his cannon aimed at the door. He is ready.
So as you back up, you all, like, as you begin to form your sort of, like, circle around this tower to prepare, as you all kind of back into position, you see a gloved hand outstretched towards the tower. It stands there, and you see the blindfolded man with the armor over his arm and shoulder standing there, and he goes, "I don't know what this is." He says, "But we have to fuck this thing up quickly. I don't want to find out what it can do." And the silence continues for a moment. And you're unsure what you're waiting for.
Manus looks over to that mage and he just asks, like, do we need to keep him contained or do we need to open the doors and attack?
And make a box outside the door so that we contain him, and then shoot him
Yeah.
from above.
Okay. So, I was
Lex
checking a
wanted to put-
mechanic.
Stone pillars around the thing, right? Or like stone walls.
So you're, so Lex, go ahead and roll Elemental Mastery.
Okay.
That's what you wanted to do, right?
Yeah. Let's see. That would be a. Okay. 15.
Okay, so 2 and 1 or 3 and 2.
2 and 1. I will need to take a d4 of damage now, won't I? Okay. Well. Is that d4? Yep, okay. Yay, I get to use my d4.
Look, be with you.
That's not even the d4 that I'm pulling out. Oops. Alright, I'll just use owlbear because I don't want to go with this. Yay, owlbear rolls. Give me something good. That's 3 damage. Son of a...
Ouchie.
Ouch. Okay, so I use... Strong... and Binding.
Okay, so what are you doing?
I believe I'm making, like, big stone barricade around the tower to help stop whatever's in it from getting out.
Okay. So, as you're putting up walls around the tower, and you're waiting for the silence to break, you hear a shouting, like a growl, take to the air from somewhere. And you just hear this voice that so many of you have heard, except for one of you, who fortunately escaped the dreams. Only one of you. And it was just because of the timing. But you hear this voice take to the air. As it's just echoing over this beach area. And you hear the sound of something opening. And then, before you can even react to, like, maybe something, waiting for something to break through the stone or whatever it is, you see a figure over the top of the tower appear and drop down into the sand, axe borne in hand. And he goes, "You locked me in a tower. I have been imprisoned for a year. I'm gonna eat your heads, one by one." And he begins to take a step. It kind of shakes. He takes another step that shakes. And begins to just take one step after another until he finds himself in a dead run with this axe at his side, and he begins to run towards you all.
Arrow lands to the forehead.
I was about to say, Manus fires a shot at him.
And that is
I
where
already
we
had
will
that.
pick up next session.
All right.
We need to get me into melee range so I can hit him with my hack and slash.
I need to use my
It
diamond sword.
lowers armor.
Ooh.
Period.
Yeah, did we
It just
did we ever
does
put
it.
the dragon bone on my sword? Did we forget to do that, or did we actually do that?
You did.
Forgetful.
Um,
Yeah, we did. Okay. I just don't know what it did.
About to find out, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah, he begins to bear down towards you all. And somewhere off behind you in the distance, you hear a chuckling. This will be a show.
Hearing that chuckle, my first thought is, Dad, sister, either one of you, if you have a second, could you strike him with something? Then it wouldn't be me doing it. Prayer
All right.
in my head to my sibling and father. And I mean that seriously. I really want to try that.
I was
All
gonna
right.
say Jug is sword at the ready, seeing him, but like kind of shaking, but just hearing that fucking guy resolve with anger, just like, oh my god, I fucking...
Oh boy, have I been waiting to introduce this character.
I'll roll a weird divine intervention just to see him smoke with lightning.
Anyone from that fucking tower I hate so goddamn much. I mean, seriously.
Is he not gonna
Oh,
help us?
okay.
Is he just gonna sit here watching?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I said.
He's
I
from
want-
the Tower of Abzana. They are fucking assholes. All they do is cause problems, and they can't be touched because they have connections to the Romalian government in Arcanesia. Which is just, it's not Arcanesia. It's the one section that refuses to be recognized. They're problematic for the Empire, and they have been for a long time.
So they are.
So if you look at the map, if you saw the big Arcanesia map, that big sandy desert part off to the south side, the southwest, on this side is called Ramal. That is the sort of country kingdom there. And they have direct ties to the Tower of Abzana, which is up in like almost sort of the north of Arcanesia, the continent itself. And, well, they recently they had a particular mage there that was responsible for burning down an entire forest of these sort of elder fae folk that care for the trees.
Oh, I am the Lorax. I speak for the trees.
Essentially.
You can't do nothing with these politicians. Who do you think pays them?
The Lorax to speak for the trees, litter again, and I'll break your freaking knees.
Yeah, I've been
Ain't
waiting
that the
so
bee's
long to introduce this character. He's been waiting in the wings to appear for something important, and this was the moment that he would appear for something important. Yeah, I knew as soon as he opened his mouth, you all were going to fucking hate him. And he's very good at being hated.
Yeah.
You know, it's not that he's an asshole. It's like he's an asshole that's self-aware that makes it worse.
That's exactly what he
Yeah,
is.
that's so real.
Yep.
Alright. I'm gonna get off here. I will see you guys next
All
week.
right.
You guys have a good night.
All right.
Good
Yes,
night,
brothers.
everybody.
Next week. Have a good one.
Good night.
Good night.